Turn to my friend on my right, who played for Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. Yeah. What is your perspective on this? Because it's the ultimate definition of confirmation bias, right? Yeah. The people who think they're cheaters are going to use this as an example. The people who think that they've been unfairly criticized in the past are going to use this as an example. What do you think?
I think here's the deal. If you want to know what people think inside the organization, listen to what the players are saying. Because inside the Patriots organization, there's one voice, Bill Belichick. And you know what the players do? They regurgitate the message from the top. So if people really want to know, like, how, what's the thought process going on in the building, listen to what the player's saying. That'll tell you exactly how they feel about the whole thing.
I'd be interested to know how other owners who are not the Bengals or the Patriots feel about this, because my understanding was after the initial Spygate, Deflategate was pretty aggressive, in part because the other owners were upset that the initial Spygate wasn't penalized enough. So I think that may weigh on this, how the other owners around the league and how other teams feel about how this is going.
Is there any way to get a sense of how long this is going to take before some decision is made?
I don't know the answer to that. They said they're going to take their time in the league. Again, to me, it would seem rather clear. You have a tape, you look at the tape, you speak to the Bengals, you speak to the Patriots, you render a decision. Shouldn't be that hard.
Again, they had a one-day league meetings yesterday, so it could be wrapped up before they play each other this Sunday, maybe not. Let's get to the Cowboys. They head into their game against the Rams on a 3-game slide. Still fighting to win the East. Dallas will have something to do on Sunday that it has yet to do this season, beat a team with a winning record. Here is Jason Garrett on his team overcoming its recent struggles.
Well, this league is about adversity. If you've ever played or coached in this league, the guy across from you is damn good. So you're going to have success, you're going to have adversity. And the teams that handle that adversity and get better from it are the ones that are typically playing at the end. And that's something that we believe very strongly in. And our guys have demonstrated that at different times throughout the year, and that's what we have to do right now.
Look, when you look at the roster that the Cowboys have, the talent that they have, it seems to me like this is an illustration of what can go wrong when you have a lame duck year for a coach. Yeah. When you think of all of this, does it all fall back on Jerry Jones?
I think it does. I think we can celebrate Jerry Jones for the roster that he created, but sending Jason Garrett out there in a lame duck situations sets up everyone else to kind of fend for themselves. So offensive coordinator might be thinking, well, I don't know, maybe I'm the next coach, or maybe I have to find a job elsewhere. So maybe I'm not going to run the ball. I'm going to demonstrate the way that I can design a passing game. The same thing could be true on the defensive side and individual players. When you don't feel confident that the situation is stable, it's kind of human nature for everybody to go for themselves, and you need to play a cohesive game to win.
It's fascinating to me because there's been so much talk about Jason Garrett and the underperformance of the team. You have a different idea.
Well, that to me is the whole point of this, is that aside from the fact that he's in the last year of his contract and he's a lame duck coach, everyone knows it, the issue has gotten so much attention, and every single time they lose, Jerry Jones is front and center talking about it more and more. And the issue's gotten it's gotten bigger than the team itself this season. Jason Garrett's future, it just hangs there. And is there anybody that thinks, short of this great Super Bowl run, he's going to be back? No. And after every loss they suffer, after every disappointing defeat, after every time it looks like they won't win the NFC East, Jerry comes out and has to address, no, we're not ready to fire him yet. We're not ready to move up from him yet. It's become the story within the story of this season.
And is that a problem? If you're a player on that team, is that actually impacting the way you play? Is it part of the reason they're not winning games that we think they should?
No, as a player, you're just going out there and playing football games. But listen, I was going to come out here and talk about time of possession and all that. Who gives a crap about that? Because honestly, the bigger thing, the biggest common denominator here is Jerry Jones. Okay, we talked about the roster. We've talked about Jason Garrett. We've talked about everything associated with the Cowboys ad nauseum, but there's one constant in this whole thing, and that's Jerry Jones. I feel like Jerry Jones is kind of in like an Al Davis type of situation where he, had his moments early, but now it's all just kind of fading, to the wayside, and he needs to make a decision. Your football mortality is you're on the clock right now. Do you want to cede some of your power and maybe get this thing on track, or do you want to keep the status quo going? And we're going to keep talking about the Cowboys.
I don't think it's about ceding power as much as it's about shutting up. Like, I think that the decisions that he's made, we can support the decisions that he's made, but complicating the issues by talking every week and not giving your coach an extension but not firing him. Like, you're making the job more difficult for your coaches and players. Get the best players. You're doing that well. But be quiet until you win a championship. Then you can say, how about them Cowboys? And we can all laugh and celebrate.
But there is literally no chance of that happening.
Not in his
right?
DNA.
Literally not. Okay, tons and tons of football as we go on this Thursday. But let me take you to the hoop. And the game of the night, the moment of the night, Jay Williams, was Kawhi Leonard. His first game back in Toronto after leading the Raptors to their first NBA championship. The fun guy was in the house, and the fans were ready to let him know how much they love him.
Please welcome back Kawhi Leonard!
How about the response to him last night, Jay?
It was incredible. It was a standing ovation from everybody in the building. Look, Kawhi Leonard took this team and led them to a championship. It goes to show you how special of a player he is.
And then he spent the entire night making them remember just how good he is. You'll see the whole repertoire here, the inside shot, nice passing, outside shooting, everything.
Now remember, there's no Fred VanVleet for Toronto. They've been having an exceptional year, but I think Toronto is a regular season team. I do not think they're built for the playoffs. Don't believe the hype.
Kawhi Leonard's team is built for the playoffs. He knocked down a 3 there. They were leading by 12. He would score 23. Good night for Kawhi and the Clippers.
Yeah, Kawhi, look, their wings are strong. The one thing that is lacking for the Clippers, Zubac in the middle, that middle presence overall.
They get the win on the road by 20 last night.
Inside the ring,
Yeah.
I have a logo in there, and it's on my middle finger, so it reminds me to put on my middle finger. So I have like a FU symbol on there.
Only he could say that with a straight face. That's inside his ring. Okay, let's run the floor. No Giannis, no problem. Bucks win their 16th straight beating New Orleans. Is Milwaukee clearly the best in the East?
They might be the best team in basketball, Greeny. They might be, and look, I am off the Ben Simmons bandwagon. I was on it at the beginning of the year. I've seen him shoot. There's no way a guy who's 6'10", 240 pounds should be averaging like 14, 7, and 8.
Right.
He should be putting up Giannis numbers in order for Philly to be that team. The Bucks are that team in the East.
We will talk more about him in our next hour. In the meantime, let's talk about him. LeBron James, his 14th triple-double as a Laker. LA taking care of the Magic in Orlando. Is he the MVP?
I think right now it's between him and Giannis. Yes, I would say I like LeBron James as the MVP. His real plus-minus is like 2 points higher than Giannis is right now. Look, this team has won 12 straight road games, and I think the other pieces of the team really set a tone last night.
Well, let's talk about that because we all know LeBron and we all know Anthony Davis, but you're going to tell us that the supporting cast is actually one of the reasons you're buying in.
Greeny, every good company needs somebody to mop up the floors. They need somebody to come in late to do all the dirty work. Dwight Howard is doing that. Now, I know he's only averaging 7 points and 7 rebounds, even though he's shooting 72% from the field. But like last night, this is a place where he was Defensive Player of the Year 3 years in a row. Okay, he took them to the Eastern Conference Finals. They traded him. This is an angry game for him. I like seeing Dwight angry. Yes, he initiated the fight, but I like seeing him find a way when you're playing against a team like the Magic, where you need to find a way to manufacture energy. He does that. Jared Dudley comes in, pushes somebody, he gets ejected. That's energy that helps this team win the game. When you have players that are willing to do the dirty work, that's what makes LeBron James and AD special, because they can stay up high and be Batman and Superman.
So Lakers or Bucks, who's the best team in basketball?
If they were to meet up right now, I would take the Bucks. With the way the Bucks are playing, I think the Bucks, obviously just the shooters that they have, and Giannis, the way he's playing right now, I think he's playing the best in the NBA. I don't know if he's MVP.
I tell you what,
he's playing the
let's
best.
wager that incredibly nice top that you are wearing. I'll take the Lakers, you take the Bucks in a 7-game series. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, I like that.
It's a wager.
All right, done.
Very good. Much more basketball as we go. Laura, how about the big signing in baseball?
Yeah, one day after whiffing on Garrett Cole, the Angels struck it big in free agency, landing all-star third baseman Anthony Rendon on a 7-year, $245 million deal that includes a full no-trade clause and no opt-outs. MLB insider Jeff Passan is at the winter meetings with more on what this deal means for the Halos.
It took 24 hours after losing Garrett Cole to the New York Yankees for the Los Angeles Angels to say, maybe not anything you can do, we can do better, but we want to try and win a championship too. And adding Anthony Rendon to a lineup with Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, and eventually top prospect Joe Adell was a big step in that direction. But it's not the only step the Angels are going to take. They need pitching. They are in on Madison Bumgarner. They are trying to deal for Corey Kluber from Cleveland. The Angels know that to get past the Houston Astros and Oakland A's, they're going to need more pitching.
Look, it's been a banner week for Scott Boras and his MLB clients. Since Monday, Anthony Rendon, Garrett Cole, and Steven Strasburg have signed new contracts for a combined total of $814 million. I think that means play baseball, kids, and if you can figure out how to do it as a lefty, you're even better. Coming up on Get Up, how much is Tom Brady to blame for the Patriots' offensive struggles? Wait until you hear what one legendary Boston voice said about Tommy.